Hello there, Reject Nation. I'm Greg. What's your name?
My name is Amy Arburn.
I've learned that women can speak for themselves, so I'm not going to introduce you. Or is that rude of me not to do that?
No, I think you can say, and this is...
And this is a woman.
Yeah, her name is irrelevant.
Amy, how you doing?
Really. I'm doing very well. I'm so glad to be back on your channel.
That's some good acting skills you got. 10 actors who turned down iconic roles for stupid reasons is what we're going to watch today.
Stupid reasons.
I'm trying to think of who I would expect to be on this list. I'm expecting Will Smith from The Matrix. I could be wrong. Anywho, guys, make sure to check out Amy Arburn's YouTube channel as soon as you can. It is a wonderful time. One day I'll be on there. Actually, by the time this video's out, I might already be on there.
You might be on there, yeah. But we gotta do something more like formal, I think.
Yes, elegant and classy
Yes.
on there. Yes.
But he will be on the channel, yes.
Now, there aren't many actors in the world who are lucky enough to be handed
Lucky?
prime
Alright, I'm
movie
already
roles on a
happy.
silver platter.
There's an accent.
But sometimes an actor just can't appreciate the gift they
Lucky!
Lucky.
Is that how you talk to real British people? Oh, you from London?
London? Saw that you're from London.
Will Smith still gets plenty of flack for saying no to the part of Neo in The Matrix,
Oh, no.
for instance.
It's not on the list, but it is brought up.
It actually makes quite a lot of sense. Similarly, John Travolta turned down Forrest Gump to do Pulp Fiction, which is a win-win.
Hey.
Kirsten
Yeah, he
Dunst
did okay.
said no to the Mina role in American Beauty because she didn't want to kiss a 40-year-old Kevin Spacey.
That
decision-making in each
panned
case.
out
However,
great.
sometimes
Good decision.
huge movie roles is flat out stupid. Let's talk about it. I'm Will for Culture, and here are 10 actors who turned down iconic roles for stupid reasons.
Stupid reasons.
Number 10, Russell Crowe thought Wolverine was a, quote, wolfman. X-Men. The role was everyone's favourite mutant, the superhero who made the cinematic X-Men a thing. Wolverine, as so wonderfully played by Hugh Jackman for almost 2 decades across the X-Men franchise. But long before Jackman took the part, and even before Doug Ray Scott was set to play Wolverine but had to back out due to scheduling conflicts, Russell Crowe was actually director Bryan Singer's first choice. Hilariously, Crowe felt that one aspect of the character was just too similar to his Oscar-winning role as Maximus in Ridley Scott's Gladiator,
What was
which
it?
he finished filming a few months before X-Men went into production. Crowe said in an interview, quote, "If you remember, Maximus has a wolf as his companion at the beginning of the film, which I thought was going to be a bigger deal at the time. So I said no, because I didn't want to be Wolfie the General and then Wolfie that other bloke."
I completely
now
forgot
I'm
there was
still-
even a wolf in Gladiator.
Wolves. Obviously, Wolverine doesn't really have anything to
Not
do
what you
with
first
wolves, and
think when
he's
you think
certainly not
Gladiator.
a Wolfman. So, in turning Singer down, Crowe forfeited some colossal future paydays. Number 9, Mark
Tis true.
Wahlberg wasn't allowed to have a lisp, Donnie Darko. The role was for
What?
the titular protagonist of Richard Kelly's cult classic debut.
No
a
way.
young man who receives disturbing visions of an impending apocalypse. Before Jake Gyllenhaal won the star-making role, Kelly looked at numerous other actors, including Jason Schwartzman, a 30-year-old Vince Vaughn, and most bafflingly
Wow.
of all, a
Nice.
29-year-old Mark Wahlberg.
Wow, it looks so different.
Vaughn quite sensibly turned down the role because he appreciated that he was too old to play a 16-year-old Donnie, but that apparently wasn't a problem for Wahlberg. The actor was quite keen to take the part, though decided to walk away after Kelly rejected his insistent idea for the character that he played Donnie with a lisp. It makes the brain hurt even trying to conceive how anyone could consider a 2000-era Wahlberg age appropriate to play a high school student. So while it would have been a fascinating curio,
That's
there's
not the
a
problem.
chance it would have
Yeah.
I want a lisp.
the brilliance of Kelly's film, Lisp or Not. Number 8, Olivia Munn didn't want to be, quote, eye candy. Deadpool 2.
She is
The
not.
role was for Deadpool's
No.
put upon
She is
girlfriend
so
Vanessa,
not
best
attractive.
remembered for treating
Yeah,
maids to
okay.
a pegging session
Yeah.
and getting put in harm's way quite often. And Fox's first choice for the character was Olivia Munn. Shortly after Deadpool's release, Munn was vocal about saying she turned the role down because she didn't want to play the girlfriend character yet again, and was disappointed that Vanessa wasn't given any opportunities to be physical throughout the film. So far, so reasonable. Fox was still interested in Munn and offered her a role in another X-Men movie, X-Men Apocalypse.
That's
which was
right.
shooting at roughly the same time as Deadpool. That role was super mutant Psylocke, which Munn contrasted with the role of Vanessa by noting the added physicality and the fact that she wasn't simply being used as, quote, eye candy. Except anyone who's seen X-Men Apocalypse probably won't remember much about Psylocke
Yeah,
as a
she was
character or a superhero.
pretty much eye candy.
She's
That's
featured
not
in
an eye
single
candy at
outfits
all
and a number of
outfit.
suggestive
No.
poses with camera setups designed to emphasize Munn's physical attributes. In the end, she was just eye candy. Number 7,
What's the
Will Smith wanted the role
irony?
to be bigger,
Bigger.
Django Unchained. The role in question for this one was the protagonist of Quentin Tarantino's blood-soaked Western classic. A freed
You know about
slave who,
this?
I
alongside
did not
German
know Will
bounty
was up
hunter
for that
Dr.
role.
Schultz, seeks to retrieve his wife Broomhilda from southern slave owner Calvin Candy.
That's not
Before
Brunhilde,
Tarantino
but-
ultimately cast Jamie Foxx to play Django, he
Yeah.
came very close to casting both The Wire's Michael K. Williams and Will Smith. Williams ended up losing out in the final stretch, but Smith was actually offered the part in earnest before turning it down. Smith is notoriously picky about his projects in one very specific way. He doesn't do a lot of supporting ensemble work and likes to develop projects that are focused around him as a star vehicle. And even when it came to an awards-friendly
That
prestige
doesn't
project
sound
like
like-
a Tarantino
No.
movie, he still wouldn't let this slide, turning the part down because he felt that Django wasn't the true lead of the film. Smith said in an interview years after Django's release, quote, "Django wasn't the lead, so it was like, I need to be the lead. I thought it was brilliant, not just for me." While the film went on to receive
Damn.
5 Oscar
That's-
nominations, including Best Picture, Smith decided
Wow.
instead to co-star with his son Jaden in M. Night Shyamalan's atrocious After Earth, and won 2 Razzie Awards for Worst Supporting Actor and Worst Screen Combo. Number 6,
Ooh,
Sean
that's-
Oh, that's mean. Oh, I didn't even know that.
And Lord of the
Ouch.
Rings. 2 roles.
Sean Connery turned down both of those?
Connery was offered up the part of Morpheus, which of course eventually went to Lawrence Fishburne. And
Which I like the red
another
pill.
in the Lord of the Rings, as was subsequently accepted
Hilarious.
by Ian.
So
Amusingly,
amazing.
the reason he turned both of them down is the same in both instances. Connery
He would have been a
did
good
start
Gandalf.
scripts and
Yeah.
passed on them. Peter Jackson was so keen to
Yes,
have Connery be
actually.
a part of his epic trilogy that he even convinced the producers to offer him $10 million per film, as well as a 15% cut of the trilogy's box office.
15%
Netting
cut?
Connery approximately $400 million. And though the Bond icon is said to be worth north of $100 million regardless, that's definitely worth kicking yourself no matter how rich you might be. Granted, Fishburne and McKellen are so
Wow.
perfect as Morpheus
I
and
feel like
Gandalf
that's
that it's
rare,
tough to
Yeah.
right? That you
Connery
get a
doing
cut
any better.
of...
But in refusing
Back then,
to take
too,
the
that for that
jobs,
much.
he turned down literal mountains of money. Number 5, James Purefoy hated wearing the mask, V for Vendetta.
Oh, okay.
The role up for grabs was the titular anarchist terrorist whose face is obscured under a mask for
You
the
seen this?
entirety
Yes,
of V
of
for
course.
Vendetta, identifiable only by his
Great
voice.
film.
James wasn't only offered the role of V, he actually initially accepted it and got as far as spending 6 weeks filming before being replaced by Hugo Weaving.
Fascinating.
With a few of his physical
Yeah.
scenes even included in the final cuts and redubbed
Wow.
later by Weaving. There are several differing perspectives on what exactly went down, though by far the most persistently cited story is that he quit the role due to discomfort over wearing a mask for the entirety of the shoot. In an interview prior to leaving the film, the actor said, quote, "That mask is the thing I'll be wearing throughout the movie. We'll never see my face. It's a great acting challenge. Wearing that thing takes a lot of takes." Weaving himself added later, quote, "I know the difficulties James was having and I was warned by other people. Certain difficulties with the mask. I just think it can feel very hot. You feel quite cut off." Though James has himself claimed creative differences was the reason, that seems to be an explanation suggested only by himself. Number 4, Tom Cruise was worried about first-time director Frank Darabont.
Should have just taken the role, dude.
Before Tim Robbins took the
Seriously, man.
unforgiving
Wow.
It's just a mask.
It's
just a mask. It gets a little hot sometimes. We'll live.
Cruise, who ultimately said no. Cruise wasn't keen on the prospect of the first-time filmmaker Frank Darabont directing. Meanwhile, the production company Castle Rock Entertainment was busy trying to convince Darabont, who wrote the film and had first refusal to direct,
Have you seen this?
to let someone
Shawshank
else have
Redemption?
it instead.
Yes.
In Darabont's own words, he was offered, quote, a load of dough to
Oh,
keep the reins
really?
on
It's such a good
causing
one.
Cruise to exit the project,
Morgan
and instead
Freeman.
leading to Robbins taking
Man.
the part. Now,
Come on.
being wary of a first-time director isn't the dumbest thing an actor can
No,
do.
not at all,
But when
especially for-
said movie goes on to receive 7 Oscar nominations, and Darabont's Best Director omission continues to be cited as one of the Academy's worst ever oversights in the category, it's clear that he's
Oh,
screwed
wow.
up big time. It seems that Cruise attempted
Yeah, Tom
to
Cruise, you're a
rectify his
failure.
skepticism of inexperienced filmmakers in recent years by starring in Alex Kurtzman's The Mummy reboot, but, you know, we all know how that went. It's tough to imagine Cruise
I didn't
having
even
the
know Tom
subdued
Cruise was in
qualities
a
to make
Mummy
Andy work,
reboot.
honestly, at least in the deeply...
How'd you miss that?
I don't know. I don't know. Was that recent?
Yeah.
3.
Oh.
Tim Roth, quote, wasn't ready to be on a lunchbox, Harry Potter. The role in this case was
Is
for
that
the
really it?
legendarily cold Hogwarts professor who, despite his earlier animosity towards Harry Potter, is ultimately revealed to be one of the saga's unsung heroes.
Yes.
Before Alan Rickman accepted the part and made it so dryly and wonderfully his own, the role of Snape was first offered to Tim Roth. Roth, who steered
Fascinating.
clear of franchise fare and clung pretty aggressively to low-key indie dramas throughout most of the 1990s, wasn't prepared for the commitment required of a large-scale multi-film production.
It's also
that
like
ultimately
10
spanned
years of your
almost
life.
a decade.
Yeah.
Roth
True,
elaborated,
but-
quote, if I had done it, everything would have changed. That's the nature of the randomness of life. It would have been nice to have a 7-year gig. That's a nice, comforting space to be in. But no, I think the better man for the job did the job. In a more
I mean,
recent
yeah,
That's very
Alan
diplomatic.
Rickman is pretty iconic
He's
in that.
pretty amazing
on a
and
lunchbox.
was
I
very
really
effective.
wasn't. Ironically, Roth turned down a colossal payday in order to appear in Tim Burton's much maligned Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I hate when it's like when
where
they...
any franchise potential was
man.
quickly stamped out due to critical disdain and Fox's dissatisfaction with the end result.
Oh, boy.
Rickman nailed it beyond any fan's expectation, of course, but
Yep.
it's easy to imagine Roth giving his own remarkable rendition as well. Number 2, Christina Applegate was scared of being typecast, Legally Blonde. The role in
Oh,
this
but
case
that's
is for the
Reese's.
principal character,
Come on.
a seemingly stereotypically dizzy sorority girl who, in an attempt to
She
win
would
back
have
her
been
ex-boyfriend,
typecast, especially after
taken
doing
more
Married with
seriously
Children.
in
She would have been
roles that
typecast.
are-
I
Yeah.
agree with that. Yeah.
The part inevitably went to
Maybe
Reese
so.
Witherspoon for both theatrically released movies, and she's set to reprise her role for an upcoming third film, but it was previously turned down by the terrific Christina Applegate. Applegate, who had just spent a decade playing dumb blonde Kelly Bundy on the hit show Married with Children, was worried that taking such a role would result in her being typecast in movies.
Yeah.
Applegate said,
Her hair
quote,
is
the
so
script
cute
came
there.
along my way and it was right after I'd just finished Married with Children. And it was a blonde who in that first script didn't win it but ends up going to Yale or Harvard, I don't remember. I got scared of kind of repeating myself. That, of course, entirely glosses over the fact that Legally Blonde is actually concerned with subverting expectations and making Ellie a smart,
It's true, she
resourceful,
grows and changes
relatable character.
shows that
The
blonde
actress
girls
has
can-
since
They're
expressed
smart.
her regrets,
Yeah.
having, quote, what a
And
stupid
bubbly
move that
sometimes.
was, right? Number 1, Ralph
You can be
Macchio
both.
thought it was about a kid, a car, and plutonium pills.
Back to the Future?
The role was up for the
Oh.
effortlessly charming teenage
Ralph
protagonist who ends
Macchio
up
was
traveling back in time
almost-
from 1985 to 1955, where he crosses paths with his own parents and risks erasing himself from existence. Though Michael J. Fox was always the first choice to play Marty, scheduling conflicts with Fox's TV show Family Ties initially prevented him from being cast. The filmmakers consequently settled on Eric Stoltz to be his replacement,
he
who lasted just 4 weeks
looks a lot
before
like
being replaced with a now available Fox. But the part was first offered to the Karate
harsh.
Kid's Ralph Macchio.
This is a
who
harsh
promptly
business,
said
man. Yes,
no.
it is.
Macchio turned the part down after apparently misunderstanding the film's pitch and believing it to be about nothing more than, quote, a kid, a car, and plutonium pills. We're going to assume Macchio either didn't get a script before being offered the part,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
what
Pills, what are you talking about?
That's quite the off-base assumption right there. Needless to say, Macchio never quite managed to replicate the career success of the Karate Kid ever again, though he's had a neat little comeback recently with the TV continuation Cobra Kai, while post Back to the Future Fox became a megastar in both movies and TV. And there you have it, folks, 10 actors who turned down...
Well, he's gonna come back now. Fox is doing great.
Drop this video a like if you enjoyed it.
Damn. I love the little, like,
Drop this video a like if you enjoyed it.
the little
And
stingers they take at them at the
They really do. They
And they're
just
like, they turned this down for good reasons. Oh, but then they went on a star in this piece of shit.
yeah, yeah, no, very in particular British fashion. They
Yeah.
like jab. It's over before you even realize it was a jab.
This is a good list. It's like
Great list.
I was like, they really delivered. All these were pretty interesting to learn about. Russell Crowe with the wolf thing with Wolverine. You know what's? It just reminded me. Hugh Jackman, when he got the role of Wolverine, he didn't realize Wolverines were their own animals. He would do these like weird preparations. I remember him talking about an interview. He did these like preparations, watching wolves, like studying wolves, so he like changed his body language. And then on the day of filming, they were like, "What are you doing?" And he like
Oh my
learned.
God. gosh.
He learned that day that Wolverines are a completely different animal. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And
I can't say I know what they look like.
I slightly spotted one at a zoo once.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't look at all what I thought they would look like. I honestly thought they would look like a wolf.
Wolf.
Yeah. It's a common association. I find Russell Crowe's reasoning to turning this down a little funny. Gladiator had a wolf. I barely remember anything about wolves. Sure, he was saying it was like so close to the time of the release. At the same time, I'm like, it's a completely different genre and film.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like the narrator of this video was like, it was stupid because there were so many, like, the Wolverine role was many movies, and the Gladiator was critically acclaimed, but won the paycheck, essentially.
Yeah, they are iconic roles because they all went to the best actor.
Totally. I don't think Gladiator hurt.
No, definitely not. Mark Wahlberg for Donnie
Darko. The lisp. We really wanted Donnie to have a lisp.
You know what I find funny about this? Mark Wahlberg, have you heard of The Lovely Bones? Ryan Gosling was originally cast in it.
Really?
And then in the middle of pre-production, Ryan Gosling put on a shit ton of weight because that's what he's envisioned for the character, to be really overweight. Peter Jackson was like, why are you fat? Get out of here.
Oh.
Or whatever New Zealand accent he has. Why are you fat? Fat, you fat boy now.
Yeah.
Ain't you, Ryan? I don't know.
Just make your A's and your E's eyes.
Sounds exactly like Peter Jackson, if not exactly like a New Zealander, don't I?
Astounding impression right there.
Mark Wahlberg
like, no.
eventually took over for Lovely Bones, following the way the director envisioned it. Yeah. But apparently back then, he could have had this other iconic role. But he wanted a lisp?
Yeah.
Why is that necessary? Look, I don't mind playing a 19-year-old, but I gotta have a lisp, all right?
I would love to hear what the real character work behind it was. Like, here's why. Here's why I want the lisp.
Sometimes people are so married to a certain choice that they just can't let it go. Yeah. Actors and their egos, am I right?
Totally. We're so full of ourselves.
Olivia Munn doesn't want to be eye candy, but she'll put on... But she'll be eye candy.
I mean, that thing, I'm pretty sure she had thigh-high boots on. I mean, she looked amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But that had eye candy all over it, that little getup.
Well, I think a lot of the time for these bigger roles, sometimes I don't think they're allowed to read the whole script. The character of Vanessa in Deadpool is a pretty rich character. It's like, yeah, there's the whole sex montage they have, but she's more than just girlfriend. I think that one thing that people were kind of surprised by was that she's actually a full three-dimensional character and such an integral part to the journey of Deadpool in this one movie. She's not just girl, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
She gave a great performance in that film because it's a good character. A lot of times, too, I think that when actresses especially are cast in these superhero films, I don't think they're aware of the outfits they're going to be told they have to wear. And it's also, you don't have that much power at the time, so usually you have to be compliant with whatever the requests are.
Right.
I can see a scenario where she probably didn't get the whole Deadpool story, agreed to be this comic book character, and then being in the position of, oh, I have to dress like that, and I'm not much of a character. Later on, you find out,
you know.
Yeah,
because they mentioned that too, right? That she doesn't actually have that big of a role in the superhero role. She eventually
forget
accepts.
She's in it. You know, Amy turned down the role of Tanya in I, Tanya.
I did.
Because
I didn't want success.
She didn't want success. Quote, I didn't want success.
And the 11th actress.
Will Smith for Django. I totally believe that. I mean, Will Smith is one of the most charming mother effers in the world, and I love him, and I love his motivational talks and everything, but I also can believe if he wanted to be more of the center of attention.
I know, it was a little upsetting to learn this, actually, because I don't think some actors who have really large egos, I think you're like, oh yeah. But I don't think Will Smith carries himself that way. But this is very big ego decision making. I'm not the star.
I've heard he overall just didn't even agree with the choices about some of the story things. Like I heard him talk in an interview, I think on one of those Hollywood roundtables, certain themes that he didn't agree with. I think he kind of has a point. It is Django's movie still.
Yeah, he's the title role.
Yeah, he's the title role, and he is the one with the crazy arc, and it does end off with him being the hero of the tale. But I think most people still walk away thinking about DiCaprio or Christoph Waltz in terms of the big performances.
Yeah.
Because the Django performance is very subtle. The other performances have a lot more dialogue and stuff, you know.
But you know what? Respect to Mr. Smith.
Yeah, Gemini Man.
Yeah.
Was okay.
Okay.
After Earth. Oh man, that was the worst. That is
such a
so
tough-
mean.
Ooh, the worst
on screen. Oh, that's so mean.
father and son.
That is
Come on, have you
mean.
no heart?
And they were great in Pursuit of Happiness. Sean Connery turning down $400 million, essentially.
You did your Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Will Smith was originally the one they're recording for The Matrix. I couldn't really see that happening. And then Sean Connery, they're originally recording for Morpheus. I can't really see that either.
No.
I think he could have done it, but it would have been a completely different vibe. Because I think one of the cool things about The Matrix is you walk away with all the characters. The main players, at least. Whereas I think if you got Sean Connery as Morpheus, you would mainly think of Sean Connery. And would he do the training for the fighting and stuff? Would he really have done all that?
No.
Well, you don't see
not.
Sean Connery
James
agreeing with
Bond
that.
yeah, he didn't do any of that kind of stuff, and this was before the big stunt days. Really.
Yeah, where actors actually train to
Yeah.
learn martial arts for 6 months. But he would have been a good Gandalf.
Yes.
Yeah.
I surprisingly can very much see him as Gandalf in a big white.
He already has like the white hair and the beard. I'm like, yeah, you could have
No.
done. He could be like a bombastic or like really loud kind of performance and deliver these epic speeches. He would have been cool.
He would have. Would he have been Scottish though, or do you think he would have?
He would have 100% been
Englished it up.
Scottish. Even when I watch Bond movies with him, I'm like, I could hear the Scottish accent.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he
It's
would have.
very heavy.
He would have tried. He wouldn't have succeeded. I
Yeah,
think.
no, but that would have been a funny twist.
Yeah.
Of a Scottish.
Nah, you're trying.
Scottish.
Scotland. Arrgh. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you.
Aye. Willa.
It's
Groundskeeper Willa.
You see what he's doing with his mouth there?
That's what Gerard Butler
Groundskeeper
does.
Willa.
I learned that from Gerard Butler.
Oh,
Yeah, like,
okay.
he moves his mouth there.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
he does, doesn't he?
Your Honor, I am an American citizen.
You sound like the dad from Brave.
James Purefoy not taking on the V for Vendetta mask.
Because it was hot.
See, the thing is, everyone on this list I know, but I'm like, I don't even know who James Purefoy is.
Yeah, no, so
And that's on me.
would it matter?
So, yeah. That's true, though.
Oh, that wasn't nice. But
It wasn't, but
it was funny.
they didn't really go into detail. Hugo Weaving was kind of talking about how it could be uncomfortable, but I'm like, aren't you getting paid like a shit ton of money to star in this great film?
Yeah, like really well with Natalie Portman.
I would endure it. It's like,
Of course.
I've endured way worse.
It's a cool
for
story.
nothing, you know?
It's definitely something you can bring out in the press circuit, you know? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the mask was so hot and I suffered for my art. You know?
That's true. And actors like nothing more
And suffering.
than suffering and
For-
being credited for it.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes, it was really hot
No.
and sweaty, I know.
Look at me, poor me.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great performance. Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the challenges that would come with wearing a mask, but it sounds like the other actor who took the role embraced them.
Tom Cruise turning down Shawshank Redemption because of the first time director.
I mean, that makes... I get it, but wow. In retrospect.
Yeah, he would have been way
Brilliant
better than
film.
Tim Roth. Or Tim Robbins. No, trust me. I know.
You know.
I know.
He's confident.
I've seen sporadic, random clips
Yeah.
of Shawshank Redemption.
Can't believe you've never seen that.
Still don't know how it ends.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm not going to spoil anything for you because that would be rude.
They end up together in the end, don't they? They become lovers.
That doesn't happen. No.
Wow. Spoilers.
I guess when the credits are rolling,
Oh, yeah, no. Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman had
Right.
huge...
Doing it.
Yeah, huge doing it.
all right, that's in the extended edition.
No, it extended all right. Tim Roth turning down Snape. I'm glad he did.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think Tim
yeah.
Roth is a great actor, but man, Alan Rickman is
He's perfect.
the way how great he is in that movie. You're just like, he must have been the first choice, right? I read the first 3 Harry Potter books, and it's impossible for me to like not imagine Alan Rickman. It's impossible.
He is.
He's
Honestly, all of the actors in that movie.
Christina Applegate, as much as I agree with what they're saying of how the movie is subverting expectations and you're watching a dumb blonde character evolve into someone who's like actually a lot smarter than she realized she is, has a lot more authority in her life. That arc, I totally agree, is all present in the film. A big part of what made Legally Blonde great. I still think, though, that because she was on Married with Children for 10 years, she still would have been primarily associated with playing dumb blonde character a lot, even if she did do Legally Blonde. That's the one choice I'm like, I don't think that was a stupid choice. I think that's actually really smart of her, and it makes sense. It was a big movie, but still.
Yeah. Because, and that's the thing about Elle, is like, she is that bubbly person, even in her really great, strong intellectual moments in that film. But that's still, like, the essence of Elle is bubbly, happy, blonde. You can just be both things. You can be insanely smart and a bubbly blonde. Shocking.
I don't know if that's entirely true, Amy.
I think so.
Let me explain some things to you.
Okay, explain.
Ralph Macchio turning down Back to the Future.
Ouch.
All right, I got nothing more to say to that. I'm glad Michael J. Fox got the role, because Ralph Macchio, as much as I love Ralph Macchio, Michael J. Fox is too perfect for this. Too perfect. All right, guys. Well, any people on this list that you think should have been on here? Anyone that you think would have been better if they went with the original picks? How about that? Oh, engagement questions for YouTube.
Comment below.
Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah, tell us what you think.
Thoughts.
What is going on up here?
Written. Subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click that notification bell. Check out Amy Arburn's YouTube channel. We talked for so long on this
really
video.
Did. We never shut up.
And I'd like to end this with a patron of the day shout out to a woman named Katie Ann. Is from the East Coast, and she started up her own movie review blog site. Wonderful writer. She is so great at forming her opinions in such an efficient, eloquent manner. I couldn't even say that properly because I was so self-conscious comparing my reviews to hers. Yeah, she's hyper intelligent, super creative, writes great poetry. She's also a beautiful woman too. What do you know? You can be beautiful and have a brain.
Wow.
I mean, I knew that about me.
Yeah.
But the other genders?
Yeah. Ladies too? Wow.
You got some time to go.
Yes, we're smart. Yes, we're cute. Get over it.
Don't talk to my man base like that. It's all right. Most people don't make it to the end. That's just for you, Katie.
Yeah, just
you guys should collab sometime.
Yes, I want to collab with all kinds of people. Check my stuff out. I'll check you out. It'll be great.
All right. Thanks, Katie.